There are people who are born different, sometimes called strange by others. I have looked at them and felt a strength I had never seen before. They don't just step onto the stage to perform, they live each moment and fight against their fate. Every smile, every step, every flip carries a story of courage and extraordinary talent. Looking at these rare historical photos, I see the magic of humanity brought to life. Their world is where limits are broken, and what once seemed impossible becomes real. Arnold Gerrit Hensks, born on August 6, 1912, in Rotterdam, Netherlands, became widely known as Mirendajo, meaning miraculous in Esperanto. Before turning 33, he lived an ordinary life as a graphic designer with a calm and familiar routine. But at 33, Hensks declared that his body was inviolable, and from that moment, he began testing limits few would dare confront. Mirendajo quickly gained fame for performing dangerous feats while his body remained unharmed. He stepped onto the stage not just to entertain, but to demonstrate the extraordinary potential and strength of the human spirit. His acts amazed audiences and medical experts alike, enduring sharp objects and performing other incredible techniques, all under careful observation. One remarkable performance took place in 1947 at the Corso Theatre in Zurich, where Mirendajo allowed an assistant to test sharp objects on his body in front of doctors. The result stunned everyone. His body suffered no serious injury. Each performance often ended with lessons about peace, metaphysics, and belief in overcoming oneself, leaving the audience inspired not only by skill but also by the profound messages he shared. The extraordinariness of Mirendajo lay not only in physical feats but in the inspiration he brought about courage and faith. He emphasized that the human body could endure far more than imagined, and he became living proof of that. His performances showed that humans could conquer fear and reach limits once thought impossible. However, Mirendajo's life was not only glory. In 1948, he undertook a special challenge guided by a voice he believed to be divine. Following this, his health deteriorated rapidly, and he passed away, leaving controversy over the connection between his extraordinary feats and his death. Despite this tragic end, Mirendajo left a deep mark in performance history, becoming a symbol of the miraculous and the human potential to surpass limits. Today, Mirendajo is remembered as one of the 20th century's miraculous men. His performances were not merely physical challenges but messages of courage, faith, and human potential. His story continues to inspire those who dare to dream, challenge themselves, and believe in the seemingly impossible, proving that humans can reach limits that once existed only in legend. John Eckhart Jr., born on August 27, 1911, in Baltimore, Maryland, is widely known as Johnny Eck, a living symbol of overcoming adversity. He was born into an ordinary working-class family with a healthy twin brother, Robert Eckhart. Unlike his brother, Johnny was born without the lower half of his body, but this difference never held him back. Instead, it became a driving force for him to develop extraordinary skills and become a unique phenomenon in the circus world. From a young age, Johnny Eck learned to move using his hands, turning what seemed like a limitation into a remarkable ability. He was not only agile in movement but also skilled in various artistic fields. Johnny could paint vivid pictures, capture delicate photographs, craft intricate models, and perform magic tricks. His flexibility and creativity made every performance an unforgettable experience. Audiences were amazed not only by his body but also by the imagination and talent he brought to the stage. One of his most remarkable performances took place in the Miracles of 1937 show, organized by magician Roger Raboid. In this act, his brother Robert pretended to be sawed in half, creating the illusion that his lower body disappeared. Johnny Eck, together with a dwarf performer, completed the illusion, leaving the audience stunned. His dexterity, skill, and limitless creativity left everyone in awe. Every gesture and movement reflected meticulous preparation and an extraordinary spirit. Johnny Eck also left his mark on cinema by appearing in the classic film Freaks, 1932, directed by Todd Browning, playing the role of half-boy. This role both frightened and fascinated audiences while conveying a story of strong will and the ability to turn difference into strength. Through the screen, Johnny emphasized that being different is not a burden but can become a symbol of talent and courage. After his circus career declined, Johnny returned to Baltimore to live with his brother in the family home. His later life remained full of creativity and joy. He continued pursuing art, painting on glass, photographing, and running a penny arcade. Each day was a testament to the fact that human potential is not limited by physical form. He lived a meaningful life, proving that spirit and talent can overcome all obstacles. Johnny Eck passed away on January 5, 1991, at the age of 79, leaving a lasting artistic legacy and endless inspiration. His life and career continue to inspire courage, creativity, and self-belief. In 2001, Leonardo DiCaprio planned a biographical film about Johnny Eck, scripted by Caroline Thompson, with DiCaprio set to star. Though the project never came to fruition, Johnny Eck's story remains alive in popular culture, reminding everyone that real limits exist only in the mind, not in the body. Martin Emmerling, born around 1885 in Nuremberg, Germany, became widely known as Martin Joe Lorilleux, one of the most extraordinary circus performers of his time due to his ability to turn his head 180 degrees, leaving audiences in awe. He began his career as a balancing and acrobatic artist, stepping onto the stage with agility and flexibility. Yet a serious accident during a performance in St. Petersburg, Russia, where he fell from a height of 10 meters, changed his life forever. From that incident, Martin discovered an extraordinary ability: his neck could rotate up to 120 degrees. 3 years of relentless practice eventually allowed him to turn his head a full 180 degrees. This unique skill made Martin Lorilleux a rare phenomenon in the circus world. He migrated to the United States in 1921 and quickly performed at major circuses and oddity museums like Ripley's Believe It or Not Auditorium, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, and Hubert's Museum in New York. Audiences gave him nicknames as strange as they were memorable, such as the Human Owl and Bobby the Boy with a revolving head. One of his most memorable acts was drinking beer while turning his head upside down, creating a spectacle both bizarre and astonishing. Yet to perform this act, he could neither breathe nor smoke, and every movement had to be precisely calculated. Turning his head 180 degrees was not innate but the result of an extremely rigorous training process. Martin used devices like metal and leather straps to stretch his neck and vertebrae, gradually expanding his body's flexibility limits. This practice demanded discipline, patience, and extraordinary courage, as even a small mistake could lead to serious injury. While audiences saw only the wonder on stage, few knew the thousands of hours of intense training and silent pain behind it. In his personal life, Martin Lorilleux married twice. His first wife was Laura Prechtel, a trapeze artist. After their divorce, he married Emily Whittle, with whom he had 2 sons, Albert and Walter. A peculiar story occurred in 1931, when Emily sent a telegram to Baltimore police claiming he had abandoned the family. When officers found him performing, Martin Lorilleux turned his head toward them and winked, leaving the authorities bewildered and amazed at his ability and playful audacity. Martin Lorilleux continued performing impressively until 1952 and passed away in 1955, leaving an unforgettable legacy in circus history. His life and career continue to inspire admiration. He was not only a symbol of extraordinary physical ability but also a living testament to willpower, perseverance, and the power to turn the seemingly impossible into reality. His performances remind everyone that true limits exist in courage and self-belief, not in the body itself. Grady Stiles Jr. was born into a family with a rare genetic condition, suffering from ectrodactyly, also known as lobster claw syndrome. This condition caused his fingers and toes to be fused, forming shapes similar to lobster claws. Unable to walk with his legs, Grady developed extraordinary upper body strength. From the age of 7, he joined his family performances, becoming a part of the lobster family, touring circuses and oddity museums alongside his father, who was famously known as the Lobster Man. These performances were both bizarre and captivating, leaving audiences in awe. Throughout his career, Grady Stiles Jr. became well known for his ability to move by hand and his unique appearance. He and his family lived in Gibsonton, Florida, a town famous as a winter haven for circus performers and people with physical differences. Every performance of Grady's left audiences astonished, not only for his hand-walking skills but also for the striking appearance of his lobster-like hands, creating experiences that were both thrilling and eerie. He became more than a performer, he was a living testament to the extraordinary within the ordinary. Yet Grady's life was far from only performances. In 1978, he caused tragedy with his daughter's fiancé, refusing to accept the relationship. Although he admitted to his actions, he served only 15 years of house confinement due to his disability and health conditions. Family tensions and violence continued. In 1992, after years of conflict, his wife Mary Teresa, together with her son Harry Glenn Newman Jr., hired a 17-year-old named Chris Wyant to carry out a fatal act for $1,500. The tragic event occurred on November 29, while Grady was watching television at home. The case shocked the public. Mary Teresa was sentenced to 12 years in prison, Harry Glenn Newman Jr. received life imprisonment, and Chris Wyant was sentenced to 27 years. Despite his tragic end, Grady Stiles Jr. left a lasting mark on popular culture. His story is chronicled in the book Lobster Boy, The Bizarre Life and Brutal Death of Grady Stiles Jr. by Fred Rosen, the documentary The Life and Death of Lobster Boy on Morbid, and appearances on shows like True Hollywood Story on E! And City Confidential on A&E. His image also appeared on the cover of Silverchair's album Freak Show, becoming a symbol both bizarre and tragic. His life reminds the public that those who are different live with both joy and pain, their stories astonishing and worth honoring. Grady Stiles Jr.'s life demonstrates the strength that exists in difference, the ability to turn uniqueness into something remarkable. He lived, performed, and inspired, even though tragedy and violence became part of his story. His image endures as a reminder of courage, extraordinariness, and the limits humans can reach, while also warning of the consequences when family conflict and tension escalate into violence. Alice Doherty was born in Minnesota, USA, with a rare condition called hypertrichosis lanuginosa. From the moment she was born, her body was covered with a fine layer of pale yellow hair. By the age of 2, her soft hair had grown to about 5 centimeters, and it continued to grow until reaching 23 centimeters in adulthood, making Alice the only recorded case in the United States at that time. This extraordinary difference made her a phenomenon from a very young age, drawing curiosity and astonishment from her family and the public alike. At just 2 years old, Alice began performing with her family at fairs and small circuses across the Midwest. She often appeared alongside Professor Weller's one-man band, introduced to audiences as the Minnesota Woolly Girl. Though very young and not fully aware of the work she was doing, Alice persisted through long touring journeys with her family. Every appearance left audiences amazed and moved. Medical researchers frequently observed and documented her rare condition, turning Alice into a living symbol of the extraordinary and human wonder in entertainment at the time. Her childhood was filled with long trips and performances that left spectators astonished. She experienced curious gazes and whispered comments, yet she learned early to live with resilience amidst difference. Every smile and wave she gave on stage was a testament to courage and endurance. Even as a little girl, Alice understood that her uniqueness could be a strength, and she used it to touch the hearts of everyone who watched her. After many years of performing, in 1915, Alice decided to retire from entertainment and return to Dallas, Texas, to live with her family. Though she left the stage behind, she carried memories of a remarkable childhood, long journeys, amazed audiences, and the life lessons learned from being different. Her post-performance life remained rich with stories of courage, perseverance, and self-acceptance, experiences that few would ever encounter. Alice Doherty passed away on June 13, 1933, at the age of 46 due to complications from pneumonia. Though her life was short, the memories of this extraordinary and resilient woolly girl remain alive in the history of performance and medicine. Her story reminds us of the power of difference, the bravery required to live authentically, and how resilience can touch the hearts of others. Memories of Alice continue to astonish and inspire, serving as a vivid testament to the wonders of the human world and the remarkable spirit within it. Pascual Piñón was born in 1889 in Mexico, famously known as Pedro the Two-Headed Mexican due to his striking and unusual appearance that left audiences both shocked and curious. He suffered from a rare condition called craniopagus parasiticus, where a parasitic head appears on the main head. In Pascual's case, this secondary head was not alive but a large benign tumor. To create the illusion of two heads, circus performers crafted a wax face and attached it to the tumor, turning Pascual into an extraordinary spectacle that captivated audiences. In 1917, while working as a railroad laborer in Texas, Pascual was discovered by a circus producer. The unusual growth on his head immediately drew attention, and he was invited to perform in sideshows. Joining the Cells Floto Circus, he quickly became one of the main attractions. Pascual did not perform dynamic acts or tricks, instead, he sat or stood, allowing audiences to marvel at his unique appearance. The story of the two-headed man fascinated both the public and circus historians, securing his place in performance history. Throughout his performing years, Pascual faced many challenges. His body endured the weight and pressure of the tumor, yet he continued to appear before audiences. Spectators of all ages were amazed, and gradually recognized that his difference was not only captivating but also a symbol of resilience and inner strength. He became a living example of turning something extraordinary into a performance power. However, during a tour in Detroit, Pascual began to experience health problems. Signs of memory loss appeared, and doctors discovered that the tumor was pressing on his brain. The circus management paid for surgery to remove the tumor, which restored his health. Once recovered, Pasquale returned to Texas, leaving the stage behind, and continued working as a railroad laborer until his death in 1929. Pasquale Pinon's legacy endures in popular culture. In Per Olav Enquist's novel The Book About Blanche and Marie, he is depicted as a real character with a secondary head imagined as a woman. In Kristen Harley's short story My Pet Trilobite, a character inspired by Pasquale features a secondary head described as a living creature. These stories remind audiences of curiosity, endurance, and the human ability to turn difference into fascination. Pasquale's life stands as a testament to the strength of the human spirit in the face of challenges. Despite the tumor that burdened his body, he remained resilient and became an inspiring, unusual figure in the circus world. He proved that difference could be extraordinary, and the way a person faces challenges is what truly makes them memorable. Pasquale Pinon's story continues to inspire courage, perseverance, and the ability to turn the seemingly impossible into reality. Josephine Myrtle Corbin was born on May 12, 1868, in Lincoln County, Tennessee. She became one of the rarest cases in medical history due to her condition, dipygus, which caused her body to develop two separate lower halves, each with its own pelvis and two legs. Myrtle had two pairs of legs, a fully functional pair that allowed her to walk normally, and a smaller pair that could not support walking but could move slightly, creating an appearance both unusual and fascinating. She also had two sets of reproductive organs and two uteruses, and remarkably, she gave birth from both, demonstrating the extraordinary potential of the human body. At just 13 years old, Myrtle began performing in circuses under the name The Four-Legged Girl from Texas. Her appearance quickly amazed audiences and she became a star in major circuses, including Barnum and Bailey. Moving with her main pair of legs while the smaller pair added a unique visual, every performance became an unforgettable experience. Myrtle attracted not only public curiosity but also medical interest, as her body was a living testament to rare but real phenomena. Her life extended far beyond the stage. At 19, she married Dr. James Clinton Bicknell and had 5 children, 4 of whom survived. Myrtle temporarily left the circus to raise her family, but her passion for performing never waned. She returned to the stage from 1909 to 1915, balancing family life with her extraordinary career, showcasing remarkable inner strength and adaptability. Audiences were captivated not only by her unusual appearance but also by her humility, calm demeanor, and ability to blend seamlessly with others. Myrtle's performances inspired admiration for resilience, self-acceptance, and living a normal life despite differences. Each show elicited awe and fascination, reminding people that the human body can offer extraordinary experiences rarely witnessed. Myrtle Corbin passed away on May 6, 1928, in Cleburne, Texas, at the age of 59. Her family protected her remains by encasing her coffin in concrete and guarding it until the concrete set, preventing theft. Myrtle's life left a profound impact on both medical history and popular culture. Her story reminds us that strength, resilience, and the ability to live fully despite differences are not only admirable but also inspirational for generations to come. Joanna Pauline Musters was born on February 26, 1876, in Asendrecht, the Netherlands, and became one of the smallest women in recorded history while leaving a lasting mark on circus stages and Broadway. At birth, she measured only about 30 centimeters, requiring extraordinary care from her family. To support themselves, her parents introduced Pauline to performing at local fairs from a very young age, helping her become familiar with the stage, the attention of audiences, and the magical rhythm of the entertainment world. From early on, Pauline showed exceptional talent and charm. In 1894, she was invited to the United States, making her debut at Proctor's Theatre in New York on New Year's Eve, marking a major turning point in her career. On the Broadway stage, Pauline stood out not just for her small stature but for her beauty, grace, and mastery of acrobatics and dance. Each performance captivated audiences, leaving spectators across Europe and America in awe, proving that strength and talent are not defined by physical size. Pauline's life extended beyond the stage. After marrying Dr. Joseph Verschuren, she temporarily stepped away from performing to care for her family, yet her passion for the stage never faded. From 1909 to 1915, she returned to performing, dazzling audiences with graceful dance and circus acts, leaving them both amazed and inspired. Her perseverance and determination demonstrated that even someone small in size could reach for great dreams and inspire those around them. Pauline passed away on March 1, 1895, in New York due to pneumonia and meningitis at the age of 19. Despite her short life, her story lives on as a testament to courage, passion, and extraordinary human spirit. She was buried in her hometown of Asendrecht, where, in 2018, a monument was erected in her memory, reminding generations of the extraordinary life of Princess Pauline. Her story is not just about a tiny performer but a reminder that true limits exist only in the mind, not the body. Chang and Eng Bunker, born on May 11, 1811, in Klong, Siam, now Thailand, were the most famous conjoined twins of the 19th century and became the origin of the term Siamese twins. They were born joined at the chest by a short band of tissue connecting their sternums, yet each could move independently and had separate internal organs, except for a shared liver. Their extraordinary condition sparked curiosity across the world, with audiences eager to witness their rare and remarkable lives. At the age of 18, Chang and Eng were discovered by the British merchant Robert Hunter, who saw their potential as living performers and brought them to the United States. Their first performance in Boston astonished audiences, who marveled at their independent movements, natural interactions, and unique harmony. Public fascination spread rapidly. Soon, the brothers separated from Hunter to manage their own shows, earning substantial income and proving that they were not only medical curiosities but also resilient and intelligent individuals. Their personal lives were equally extraordinary. In 1843, Chang married Adelaide Yates, while Eng married Adelaide's sister, Sarah Yates. Despite being physically joined, each built a separate family, raising a total of 21 children, 10 for Chang and 11 for Eng. Living close together, they supported each other in daily life and parenting, creating a unique but joyful family structure. Their harmony demonstrated that even the most extraordinary physical differences could not hinder love, care, or happiness. After many years farming in Mount Airy, North Carolina, Chang's health began to decline. In 1870, he suffered a stroke that paralyzed the right side of his body. Eng remained healthy and devotedly cared for him, but on January 17, 1874, Chang passed away from a blood clot in the brain. Only hours later, Eng also died, reportedly from the shock of losing his lifelong twin. They were buried side by side at White Plains Baptist Church in Mount Airy, a moving testament to lifelong brotherly devotion and an inseparable bond. The legacy of Chang and Eng lives on. They were not just medical or cultural phenomena, but symbols of resilience, harmony, and the ability to overcome physical limitations. Their lives remind the world that differences are never barriers when faced with perseverance, intelligence, and love. The story of Chang and Eng inspires generations with lessons of brotherhood, independence, and the pursuit of happiness, proving that even the most challenging circumstances can become sources of strength and joy. Prince Randian, born on October 12, 1871, in Demerara, British Guiana, led an extraordinary life that few could forget. Born without lower limbs, he had only a fully formed upper body, yet instead of letting this limit him, Prince Randian turned his difference into his strength. Audiences knew him by memorable nicknames such as the Snake Man, the Human Torso, the Human Caterpillar, and the Human Cigar, all reflecting his uniqueness and remarkable abilities. In 1889, at just 18 years old, Prince Randian was discovered by the famous circus promoter P.T. Barnum and brought to the United States to perform. From his very first shows, audiences were amazed by his extraordinary skills. Using only his hands and mouth, he could roll and light cigarettes, write, paint, and even shave with tools mounted on a wooden block. Each performance was not only entertainment but also a vivid demonstration of willpower, patience, and creative skill, pushing beyond the limits of his body. Prince Randian became even more famous after appearing in the classic film Freaks in 1932. In the movie, viewers witnessed him rolling and lighting a cigarette with precision, leaving the audience both astonished and deeply respectful of his extraordinary determination. The film celebrated his talent and unique personality while sending a powerful message: being different is never a barrier to living a full and meaningful life. His personal life was equally inspiring. Randian was a practicing Hindu and fluent in multiple languages, including Hindi, English, French, and German. He married Sarah, a fellow Hindu, and they had 4 children, 3 daughters, Mary, Elizabeth, and Wilhelmina, and a son named Richard. Despite living with a highly unusual body, he maintained a happy family life, proving that willpower, patience, and love can overcome any challenge. Prince Randian continued performing for many years, passing away on December 19, 1934, immediately after his final performance at Sam Wagner's 14th Street Museum in New York, due to a heart attack. His death brought deep sorrow to those who knew him, but his legacy of determination, creativity, and resilience lives on. His story reminds us that no matter the physical limitations we face, we can leave a mark, inspire others, and live a life full of meaning. Felix Werrell, born on May 19, 1858, in Mount Ida, Wisconsin, USA, was a circus performer whose life and talent left a lasting impression on audiences. From the very beginning of his career, Felix stood out due to his extraordinary abilities. His skin could stretch far beyond normal limits, and his fingers could bend in unusual ways, creating body shapes that few could imagine. The nickname the Elastic Skin Man was more than a title, it reflected his extraordinary strength and unique difference. Felix performed in many famous circuses of his time, including Barnum and Bailey Circus, where he became an indispensable highlight of the sideshow. Every time he stepped onto the stage, the audience was not just watching a performance, they were witnessing a living testament to flexibility, creativity, and the ability to turn difference into power. His acts of stretching skin, bending joints, and creating astonishing shapes left spectators both amazed and stunned, and their awe-filled eyes were the greatest reward for Felix. Felix's remarkable abilities were the result of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS, a rare connective tissue disorder. This condition made his skin soft and elastic and his joints overly flexible, allowing him to perform movements that ordinary people could not. Through talent and patience, Felix transformed what some might see as a difference into a tool for inspiring performances, becoming one of the most unique and remarkable circus performers of his era. Each of Felix's performances was more than entertainment, it carried a profound message: being different is not a burden but an opportunity to shine. Audiences from all walks of life, from curious spectators to medical researchers, were captivated not only by his unusual skills but also by the person behind the performance. Felix Werrell did more than astonish spectators, he inspired them with courage, perseverance, and a creative spirit that transcended physical limits. Although his career did not span decades, every act, every bend and stretch of his skin left an indelible mark on the memories of those who saw him. His life and artistry were proof of human willpower and the ability to turn differences into pride. Felix Werrell passed away on December 9, 1933, in Laredo, Texas, but his legacy endures, reminding us that difference is never a barrier, it is an opportunity to become extraordinary. Today, when people remember Felix Werrell, the Elastic Skin Man, they recall not only his astonishing performances but also his extraordinary spirit, courage, and ability to transform difference into strength, inspiring generations of audiences and performers alike. Charles Sherwood Stratton, born on January 4, 1838, in Bridgeport, Connecticut, USA, became one of the most iconic figures in circus history. From birth, he had a form of dwarfism, reaching only about 102 centimeters in height as an adult. Yet what seemed like a limitation turned into the key that unlocked a remarkable journey, capturing the admiration of audiences around the world. At the age of 4, Stratton was discovered by the famous circus organizer P.T. Barnum. Barnum quickly recognized the boy's rare talents, charm, wit, and an exceptional ability to imitate and entertain. Under Barnum's guidance, Stratton was trained and given the stage name General Tom Thumb, which instantly became a sensation. His performances were a mix of dancing, singing, and theatrical portrayals of historical figures like Napoleon and Hercules. Every appearance brought joy, astonishment, and laughter to the audience, earning him constant applause. Stratton's fame extended beyond the United States. He toured across Europe and was even presented to Queen Victoria in England. Known for her appreciation of humor and extraordinary talent, the Queen laughed with delight at Stratton's performances. Images of the tiny, vibrant performer quickly spread through the press, making him one of the most recognized entertainers of the 19th century. His personal life also captured public fascination. In 1863, he married Lavinia Warren, a fellow performer with a similarly petite stature. Their wedding in New York was a grand affair, attracting thousands of guests and extensive media coverage. The sight of the couple walking hand in hand down the aisle became an emblem of love and happiness despite physical differences, leaving a lasting impression on society. Stratton continued performing for many years, bringing joy and laughter to millions. He proved that talent, passion, and resilience could overcome any physical limitation. His life inspired generations to see that human value is measured not by height or appearance but by heart, determination, and the ability to bring happiness to others. He passed away in 1883 at the age of 45, but the legacy of General Tom Thumb endures. Stratton's name appears in books, films, and historical records, reminding us that difference is never a barrier, it is an opportunity to shine. The story of Charles Sherwood Stratton stands as a testament to the power of belief, perseverance, and talent, showing that anyone can inspire others if they believe in themselves. Schlitzie Surtees, born on September 10, 1901, in the Bronx, New York, was a figure whose presence could captivate any audience despite, or perhaps because of, his unique appearance. Standing at just about 120 centimeters and affected by microcephaly, Schlitzie looked unlike anyone else. From the earliest days, his existence sparked curiosity and emotion, yet he never let it define him. Instead, he turned his differences into a unique journey, where innocence and joy became bridges connecting him to the world. Schlitzie's circus career began in the early 20th century when he joined the Barnum and Bailey Circus and Ringling Brothers Circus. On stage, he often wore female clothing, adding an element of intrigue, yet what made audiences remember him was not just his appearance but his radiant smile and lively spirit. Known as the Pinhead, Schlitzie became beloved by audiences, who found in him a pure-hearted, joyful presence. Every performance radiated an unmistakable innocence, leaving a lasting impression on all who saw him. A major turning point in his life came in 1932 with the film Freaks, directed by Todd Browning. The movie authentically portrayed the lives of circus performers with unique appearances, and Schlitzie stood out for his gentle, childlike nature and sincere gestures. Audiences were not only drawn to his unusual appearance but captivated by the inner light that shone through every small action. Though initially controversial, Freaks became a classic, cementing Schlitzie's legacy as a symbol of sincerity and resilience. Outside the stage, Schlitzie's charm and warmth shone through. He loved to converse and joke with people, spreading happiness wherever he went. After his guardian George Surtees passed away, Schlitzie was placed in a care facility in Los Angeles, but the public never forgot him. Fans advocated for him to continue performing, recognizing that the stage was where he felt truly happy. He remained part of the circus world until the late 1960s, connecting the past and present of American circus history. Schlitzie passed away on September 24, 1971, in Los Angeles at the age of 70. Even after leaving the stage, his legacy endures. He was not only a circus performer but a living testament to the power of authenticity, resilience, and the ability to bring joy to others regardless of appearance or difference. His story reminds us that what makes a person memorable is not perfection but the unique light each individual shines, the ability to connect, and the joy one can share with the world. Edward Mordrake is a name that continues to send chills down the spine, a story that seems to emerge from the shadows of history and legend. It is said that he was born in 19th century England, with not just one face on his head, but two. The second face, located at the back of his skull, could not eat or speak, yet it was said to smile, cry, and whisper strange words in the darkness. According to legend, Edward lived in constant fear of these whispers, as if haunted by a ghost he could never escape. From a young age, Edward begged doctors to remove the second face, but no one dared attempt the operation, given the extreme risks and the limits of medical knowledge at the time. His life was a long stretch of loneliness, tormented by a part of his own body he could not control. It is said that Edward died at the age of 23, leaving behind a letter pleading for the removal of the second face after his death, a final search for release from the unending nightmare. The origins of this story trace back to an 1895 article titled The Wonders of Modern Science, published in the Boston Post by Charles Lowden Hildreth, a writer known for sensational and fictional tales. Many scholars therefore doubt that Edward Mordrake truly existed, suggesting that he was a literary creation that spread as a medical oddity in popular imagination. Yet the story captivates because it touches on real medical phenomena. Experts point out that the legend may have been inspired by extremely rare conditions such as craniopagus parasiticus, an incompletely developed parasitic twin attached at the head, or diprosopus, a rare facial duplication. These conditions exist, but no record confirms Edward Mordrake's existence. The blending of fact and fiction turns him into a symbol of haunting and isolation. Visual depictions of Edward Mordrake largely come from artistic representations. The most striking are wax figures, such as those created by artist Ewart Schindler, vividly illustrating the two-faced head. Every detail of the second face, the eerie smile, the watching eyes, makes the story feel close enough to touch the imagination of the public, blurring the line between reality and nightmare. Today, Edward Mordrake's name continues to appear in films, books, documentaries, and music, symbolizing solitude and haunting. The image of a young man with two faces, one ordinary and one mysterious behind, remains etched in the minds of generations. His story forces us to ask, where is the boundary between science, legend, and the deepest fears of the human soul? Whether Edward Mordrake truly existed or was purely fictional, his tale reminds us that strangeness, loneliness, and suffering, real or imagined, can serve as a vivid testament to human nature, both terrifying and deeply moving. Francesco A. Lentini, known as Frank Lentini, was born on May 18, 1889, in Rossellini, Sicily, Italy, and became one of the most extraordinary and inspiring circus performers in history. From the moment he was born, he carried a rare physical difference, a third leg, the result of an incompletely developed conjoined twin attached to his lower body. Instead of letting this difference hold him back, Frank turned it into a strength, and by the age of 8, he was already stepping onto the circus stage with determination and joy. From his earliest performances, Frank captivated audiences everywhere. He joined famous circuses such as Ringling Brothers, Barnum, and Bailey, and Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show. His acts were not just curiosities, they amazed audiences with their charm and humor. The image of Frank kicking a ball with his extra leg became iconic, proving that he could transform what might have been a limitation into a unique strength, bringing laughter and delight to thousands. Frank's life offstage was just as remarkable. He was warm, approachable, and always willing to share joy with those around him. In 1907, he married Teresa Murray and together they had 4 children. Though the marriage ended in 1935, he later found lasting happiness with Helen Shoup, who remained by his side until the end of his life. Those who met Frank often recalled his humor, kindness, and unwavering spirit, a man who refused to let physical differences define his path. Frank often said he felt lucky to have the opportunity to stand on stage, perform, and spread happiness. He never saw his third leg as a hindrance. Instead, he regarded it as a gift from fate, something that made him unique and left a mark in circus history. Every performance of his was a testament to courage, perseverance, and the ability to turn difference into power. Frank Lentini passed away on September 21, 1966, in Jackson, Tennessee, at the age of 77. Yet his legacy lives far beyond the circus stage. His story, image, and extraordinary spirit continue to appear in books, documentaries, and even on the cover of the rock band Alice in Chains albums. Frank Lentini was not just the three-legged man, he was a true artist, a man who taught the world that differences are not merely to be accepted, but can become sources of strength and endless inspiration. Minnie Woolsey, born in 1880 in Georgia, was one of the most extraordinary circus performers in history. From a young age, she carried a rare condition called Virchow-Seckel syndrome, which gave her a unique appearance, a small head, large round eyes, a sharp bird-like nose, uneven teeth, and a petite frame. Rather than hide her differences, Minnie embraced them, turning her uniqueness into a captivating presence that audiences could never forget. She began her career under the stage name Minnie Ha Ha, performing in Native American-inspired costumes and speaking in mysterious, playful sounds that intrigued and amused audiences. But the turning point came when she entered the world of film. In 1932, Minnie starred in the classic movie Freaks, directed by Todd Browning, portraying Cuckoo the Bird Girl. Her image, dancing joyfully on the wedding table in a feathered costume, left a lasting impression on viewers and became an iconic moment in cinema history. After Freaks, Minnie continued to perform in circuses and at Coney Island, often billed as Cuckoo the Bird Girl or sometimes the Blind Girl from Mars. Audiences adored her not just for her striking appearance, but for her innocence, cheerfulness, and warmth in interacting with everyone around her. Despite facing many challenges in life, Minnie maintained her vibrant spirit, bringing joy to those who watched her perform. In her later years, Minnie remained connected to the stage, though her life was far from easy. Reports suggest she suffered an accident in 1942, breaking her arm, and was later hit by a car in the 1960s. The details of her final years and her date of death remain unclear, adding an air of mystery to her story that continues to captivate imaginations. Minnie Woolsey's legacy extends beyond circus performances or her role in Freaks. The image of Cuckoo the Bird Girl has become a cultural icon, appearing in art, books on circus history, and popular culture studies. With her innocent smile, unforgettable dance, and joyful spirit, Minnie demonstrated that difference is not a limitation, but a source of inspiration. Her story continues to leave a timeless mark and inspires generations of audiences to embrace uniqueness and find joy in life. Annie Jones Elliott, born on July 14, 1865, in Marion, Virginia, was one of the most remarkable and unique circus performers in history. From birth, she carried a rare condition called hirsutism, which caused excessive hair growth, including a long beard and thick hair that stayed with her throughout her life. Instead of hiding it, Annie embraced her difference and turned it into a strength, stepping onto the stage to become an unforgettable star in P.T. Barnum's Circus. At just 9 months old, Annie's mother brought her to New York to meet P.T. Barnum. The famous showman immediately recognized the exceptional potential in the tiny girl and introduced her to audiences as infant Esau, recalling the biblical figure with thick hair. Her first performances created a sensation. Audiences were fascinated by the small girl with a unique presence, and Annie quickly became a highly sought-after attraction. As she grew older, Annie continued her career on stage, earning the nickname the Bearded Lady. Her appearance drew curiosity and fascination, but it was her confidence, charm, and intelligence that won hearts. Audiences admired her not only for her unusual beard but for her radiant smile, graceful gestures, and witty interactions. Annie showed that difference could become a source of strength and inspiration for everyone around her. Her personal life was filled with highs and lows. At 16, she married Richard Elliott in 1881, but the marriage ended in 1895. Later, she remarried William Donovan, a circus employee, and the two performed together, finding happiness until William's sudden death brought deep sorrow. Despite a dazzling career, Annie's life was not without tragedy. In 1902, at just 37, she died from tuberculosis, a devastating illness of the time. Her early passing left many hearts heavy, but her image and story continue to live on in public memory. Annie Jones was more than the bearded lady on stage. She was a symbol of courage, self-confidence, and the ability to transform difference into strength. Her story remains an inspiration for anyone who dares to live authentically and shine, no matter how different they may be. Ella Harper, born on January 5, 1870, in Hendersonville, Tennessee, was one of the most remarkable and unique figures in the Victorian circus world. From a young age, she had a rare condition, congenital bent knees that made her movement unlike anyone else. Ella often walked using both her hands and feet, resembling the gait of a camel, which earned her the nickname the Camel Girl. At a time when differences were often met with curiosity or judgment, Ella chose not to hide her uniqueness but to turn it into a signature that captivated thousands. In 1882, at just 12 years old, Ella began performing in sideshows, where audiences came to see unusual acts. By 1886, she joined W. H. Harris's nickel plate circus and quickly became the brightest star of the troupe. Audiences flocked from far and wide, mesmerized by her unique gait and graceful presence. Her weekly earnings reached $200, an enormous sum for that era, equivalent to thousands today, showing her immense value and influence in the entertainment world. Ella's charm went beyond her nickname. It was her confidence on stage that truly captivated audiences. She never shied away from her difference but instead let the spotlight highlight it, turning it into a defining feature. Each performance was both strange and inspiring, leaving audiences with lasting memories not only of her appearance but of the courage, confidence, and joy she radiated. Yet life beyond the circus was equally important. After 1886, Ella chose to leave the stage, returning to Sumner County to live with her mother and a niece. This decision showed she longed not only to be remembered as an oddity but also to experience an ordinary, peaceful life. In 1905, she married Robert L. Savely, a teacher, and they had 2 daughters, both of whom tragically died young. Despite such losses, Ella lived resiliently, supported by her loving husband. Ella Harper passed away on December 19, 1921, from colon cancer at the age of 51 and was buried at Spring Hill Cemetery in Nashville, Tennessee. Her life left a remarkable legacy, the story of a woman who dared to step into the spotlight, turn her differences into opportunity, and ultimately choose a quiet, ordinary life. Ella was not just a circus act, she became a symbol of courage, self-acceptance, and proof that even in an era full of prejudice, one can shine through their uniqueness. George Muse was born in 1890 and Willie Muse in 1893 in Truvine, Virginia, into a poor African-American family. From birth, they had a rare condition, albinism. Their pale skin, curly white hair, and striking eyes made them stand out as children. Rather than being raised in safety, the boys became targets of circuses in the late 19th century, where freak shows exploited curiosity for profit. In 1899, when George was 9 and Willie 6, their lives took a dark turn. They were tricked away from home and forced to perform, beginning a long and painful journey that would leave a mark in popular culture history. On stage, George and Willie were given many strange names, Echo and Eco. The Men from Mars, or even the Sheep-Headed Cannibals. They were given fabricated stories, claimed to be from another planet or a mysterious distant land. In reality, they were just 2 boys from Virginia, yet audiences flocked to see them. Behind the bright lights, they were strictly controlled, unpaid, and stripped of freedom. Despite this, the brothers became stars in America's most famous circuses, including Al G. Barnes Circus and Ringling Brothers Circus. Thousands of spectators attended each performance, but behind the scenes, their lives were filled with pain and longing. Contact with family was restricted, and for years, they lived with the aching memory of home. A miracle happened in 1927. Their mother, Harriet Muse, spotted her sons performing in Roanoke, Virginia. After nearly 3 decades apart, she recognized them instantly. In front of the crowd, she called out, tears streaming down her face, and the 2 brothers ran into her arms. This emotional reunion became one of the most memorable moments in American circus history. Harriet took further action by suing Ringling Brothers Circus to seek justice for her sons. She won, and from that point on, George and Willie performed under proper contracts, received fair pay, and most importantly, gained their freedom. This restoration gave them the chance to live the simple, peaceful life they had been denied for so long. After leaving the stage, the brothers returned to Roanoke. They bought a home and lived quietly. George passed away in 1971, while Willie lived until 2001, reaching 108 years old. Their journey proved that truth and maternal love have immense power and that resilience can overcome the harshest hardships. The story of George and Willie Muse is more than a chapter in circus history. It is a living testament to a mother's love, the fight to reclaim dignity, and the enduring belief that, in the end, truth will prevail. In 2016, author Beth Macy captured their story in True Vine, 2 brothers, a kidnapping, and a mother's quest, allowing today's generations to understand the pain, resilience, and boundless love the brothers and their mother endured. Fanny Mills was born on August 30, 1860, in Sussex, England. From an early age, she carried a rare difference, Milroy's disease, a condition that caused her legs to swell abnormally. As she grew, her feet reached 48 centimeters long and nearly 18 centimeters wide, equivalent to a US size 30 shoe. To move around, she wore socks made from pillowcases and handcrafted shoes from goat leather, which drew awe and curiosity from anyone who saw her. After her father passed away in 1885, Fanny decided to step onto the stage to support herself. She quickly became famous as the Ohio Bigfoot Girl, performing in dime museums across New York and other cities. At the time, a sensational publicity campaign even offered $5,000 to anyone who dared to marry her. Yet Fanny found love sooner, marrying William L. Brown in 1886, a supportive partner who accompanied her through her career. Fanny's personal life was not without sorrow. In 1887, she and William welcomed a baby girl, but tragically, the child was stillborn. The loss left a deep scar on Fanny's heart, while her rare condition continued to challenge her physically. Despite these hardships, she maintained a cheerful spirit and charm on stage, inspiring audiences with her courage and resilience. By 1892, her health declined, forcing Fanny to retire from performing. She spent her final years with her family, seeking the peace she had seldom known. On May 3, 1899, Fanny Mills passed away in Perkins, Ohio, at the age of 38, and was laid to rest at Oakland Cemetery in Sandusky. Though her life was brief, Fanny left a lasting mark on circus history and popular culture. Artifacts such as the shoe mold she used are preserved at the Follett House Museum in Sandusky, reminding generations of a woman who turned her differences into strength and embraced life fully. The image of the Ohio Bigfoot Girl is more than a peculiar stage act, it is a symbol of bravery, determination, and the power to transform one's unique story into a legacy celebrated by thousands. Isaac W. Sprague was born on May 21, 1841, in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. As a healthy, lively boy, he seemed destined for a normal life, but everything changed at the age of 12. After a swim, Isaac began to lose weight uncontrollably, despite eating normally. Doctors at the time were baffled, describing his condition as extreme progressive muscular atrophy. By adulthood, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, he weighed only about 43 pounds. His frail frame earned him the nickname the Living Skeleton. In 1865, Isaac stepped onto the circus stage, where his unusual physique quickly captured attention. He became a star of the freak show, captivating audiences fascinated by the extraordinary. Just a year later, in 1866, P.T. Barnum invited him to perform at the Barnum's American Museum, paying him $80 per week, an impressive sum for the time. Crowds flocked to see the world's skinniest man, and Isaac's fame spread across the United States. Behind the spotlight, Isaac's personal life was challenging. In 1868, after Barnum's museum burned down, he left performing temporarily to marry Tamar Moore. The couple had 3 healthy sons, a surprising fact considering his frail physique. Yet financial pressure and declining health forced Isaac back to performing. On stage, he amazed audiences, but behind the curtains, his life was filled with struggle and responsibility. Isaac's career and life were a constant series of challenges. He proved that, despite a fragile and unusual body, human spirit could remain resilient and determined. Audiences saw an extraordinary figure, yet few realized that behind the living skeleton lay pain, effort, and deep love for family. On January 5, 1887, in Chicago, Illinois, Isaac Sprague passed away at the age of 46, living in poverty. His death closed a short but remarkable life. He is remembered as one of the most famous living skeletons in circus history, alongside names like Artie Atherton and Peter Robinson. Isaac's legacy is not only in rare photographs or historical accounts but also as a reminder of how society once treated those who were different. He reminds us that behind the lights, the laughter, and the curious eyes, there was a human being with emotions, family, and extraordinary courage. Today, Isaac Sprague's story endures as a vital chapter in popular culture and a testament to human resilience. Stefan Biebrowski was born in 1891 in Wilczygóra, Poland. From the moment he came into the world, he was different from everyone around him, his body almost entirely covered in thick hair, including his face. This appearance made him resemble a living lion, earning him the nickname Lionel the Lion-Faced Man. His mother believed his unusual look was caused by witnessing his father attacked by a lion while she was pregnant, a common superstition of the time. Modern medicine identifies Stefan's condition as hypertrichosis, a rare disorder causing abnormal hair growth. From a young age, Stefan attracted curious attention. At just 4 years old, a German circus organizer discovered him and brought him onto the stage. He was first known as Lionel the Lion-Faced Boy, and later as Lionel the Lion-Faced Man when he grew older. Stefan quickly became a sensation in freak shows. Audiences were captivated not only by his extraordinary appearance but also by his intelligence, charm, and warm, engaging personality. Beneath his fierce exterior, Stefan was gentle and polite, leaving people both startled and moved. In 1901, Stefan joined the Barnum and Bailey Circus, one of the largest and most famous circuses in the world at the time. He toured across Europe and the United States, giving thousands of spectators the chance to witness a truly unique individual. Stefan spent much of his life in New York, respected as a performer. Every appearance on stage showcased not only his difference but also his confidence, intelligence, and warm heart. Audiences saw a wonder, yet also recognized the human beneath the hair and spectacle. Years on stage were more than performances, they were proof of human determination. Stefan turned his difference into talent and a career, refusing to let prejudice or curious stares diminish his value. He demonstrated that even when life gives you an unusual body, your spirit and character can shine, touching the hearts of many. By the late 1920s, after decades of performing, Stefan retired, leaving the spotlight behind and returning to Germany for a quieter life. He passed away in 1932 in Berlin from a heart attack, aged just over 40. Though his life was short, his legacy extended far beyond the stage. The image of Lionel the Lion-Faced Man remains alive in the memories of audiences, circus history, and popular culture as a symbol of uniqueness, courage, and resilience. Stefan Biebrowski proved that difference is not a burden, but an opportunity to shine. He was not just an entertainer, but a living inspiration, reminding us that no matter the body we are given, determination and heart can create extraordinary feats. His story continues to be told, standing as a testament to the power of spirit and the ability to transform the unusual into the extraordinary in the history of performance. Daisy and Violet Hilton were born on February 5, 1908, in Brighton, Sussex, as one of the most famous conjoined twin pairs in history. Joined at the hips and buttocks, they shared a circulatory system but had separate vital organs. From the very first moments, fate set them on a life that was extraordinary and challenging. Their birth mother, Kate Skinner, was unmarried and unable to care for them, so she entrusted them to Mary Hilton, a midwife. From that moment, Daisy and Violet's lives were no longer entirely their own. Mary Hilton did not raise them as daughters but as a source of income. Even as children, the sisters were taken to freak shows, where audiences paid just to see their conjoined bodies. As they grew, Daisy and Violet entered the world of vaudeville and burlesque, performing songs, dances, and musical pieces that captivated audiences. Violet enchanted with her saxophone, while Daisy played the violin with heartfelt emotion. Despite their physical bond, each sister displayed her own personality, making every performance vivid and nuanced. During their careers, Daisy and Violet shared the stage with stars like Bob Hope and Charlie Chaplin. They appeared in films such as the 1932 classic Freaks, exploring the lives of extraordinary circus performers, and Chained for Life in 1952, portraying dramas and conflicts mirroring their own experiences. These appearances showed the public that they were not just curiosities, but true artists with talent and soul. However, the stage lights could not hide the bitter reality. For many years, Daisy and Violet were tightly controlled, with all earnings going to their manager, leaving them almost no autonomy. This lasted until 1931, when they bravely sued their manager and won their freedom. From then on, they performed independently under the Hilton Sisters Revue, proving that even those once exploited could reclaim control over their lives. As time passed, circuses and vaudeville declined, and the sisters' fame faded. In 1961, they moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, living a simpler life and working in a local store. Though no longer in the spotlight, they stayed together, sharing the ordinary life they had longed for. In January 1969, Daisy and Violet passed away in their home. Daisy succumbed first to the Hong Kong flu, followed by Violet just days later, ending a lifelong journey of companionship. The story of Daisy and Violet Hilton is a legacy full of contradictions yet deeply inspiring. Once exploited for entertainment, they became living proof of resilience, talent, and the desire for freedom. They teach us that even in the most extraordinary circumstances, people can shine, preserving dignity and human rights. Daisy and Violet are not only icons of the circus world but reminders that the light of talent and determination can overcome curiosity and societal prejudice. Maurice Tillet was born on October 23, 1903, in Orenburg, Russia, into a French family. As a child, his gentle face and kind eyes earned him the affectionate nickname the Angel from his mother. Yet fate had a different path for Maurice. At the age of 17, he developed acromegaly, a condition caused by a pituitary tumor that made his bones and body parts grow excessively. His once gentle features transformed into striking and unusual contours, and his body expanded, creating an appearance both astonishing and captivating. In 1917, Maurice's family moved to France. Despite his changing appearance, he persisted with his studies and graduated in law, proving that his intellect and determination were untouched by his condition. Yet destiny led him to the wrestling ring. In 1937, Maurice entered professional wrestling. The nickname the French Angel soon became synonymous with him, and he quickly became a sensation. Standing 173 centimeters tall, weighing 127 kilograms, and with his unusual face, Maurice intrigued and astonished audiences. In the ring, his powerful style and signature bear hug, a crushing hold leaving opponents nearly helpless, made him one of the biggest stars of the 1940s. In the United States, he won the AWA World Heavyweight Championship in Boston twice. Every match not only thrilled audiences but also inspired them with his spirit of overcoming adversity. Behind that imposing physique, Maurice was an artist at heart. He spoke 14 languages fluently, loved poetry, and published several literary works. He also appeared in a few Hollywood films, often as a villain or wrestler, creating a unique screen presence. Maurice's fame was not only due to his appearance. Despite nicknames like the ugliest man in the world, he remained friendly, humorous, and kind-hearted, endearing himself to colleagues and fans alike. Maurice Tillet passed away in 1954 in Chicago, yet his legacy endures. Many sources note that his appearance inspired the character Shrek in the beloved animated films, a figure seemingly monstrous yet full of humanity. Maurice Tillet's life is proof that outward appearance cannot overshadow talent, intellect, and the human heart. He transformed his difference into strength, shining in the ring and inspiring millions with resilience and kindness. His story reminds us that, no matter the trials life brings, determination, intelligence, and character are what make a person truly remarkable. Horace Leonard Ridler was born on March 26, 1882, in Surrey, England. He grew up in a world full of change, living a normal childhood before joining the British Army and serving in World War I. The physical and mental scars he carried back home might have led him to a quiet life, but Ridler chose a very different path, one where he would become the center of public curiosity and admiration. The turning point in his life came when he decided to transform his body completely. Hours spent under the tattoo needle covered him in black and white stripes, turning every inch of his skin into living art. The result was the living zebra, a figure both strange and captivating, leaving anyone who saw him stunned. From then on, he became widely known as the Great Omi or the Zebra Man. On stage, Ridler mesmerized audiences with every step and gesture, exuding confidence and a rare charisma. He was more than a spectacle, he told a story through his body and performance. Tales of being captured by a distant tribe and tattooed all over his body, while likely exaggerated, added mystique, yet behind the lights, he was a regular man with emotions, thoughts, and a private family life. Throughout his career, Ridler toured Europe and America, performing in major circuses and shows. Newspapers called him a one-of-a-kind artist, a symbol of boldness and the ability to challenge societal standards of appearance. He proved that art could exist on the human body, not just in paintings or sculptures. Despite his unusual appearance, Riddler maintained a calm and captivating presence that inspired both fear and admiration. Behind the scenes, Horace Riddler led a quiet, ordinary life. He loved his family, lived simply, and avoided attention when not performing. This blend of ordinary life and extraordinary stage presence made him a unique icon, proof that one can create their own difference and turn it into art. Upon retirement, Riddler stepped away from the spotlight and public curiosity, spending his final years in peace. He passed away in 1969, yet the image of the Zebra Man remains vivid in public memory and entertainment history. Horace Riddler reminds us of the fine line between art, curiosity, and exploitation in the past. He was not a hero or idol, but a lasting symbol of the 20th century, a man who dared to transform his body and life into living art, leaving a powerful legacy of courage, confidence, and individuality. Looking back at the circus performers who once left the world in awe, we see not only extraordinary appearances or incredible abilities, but also their unwavering resilience and deep desire to be recognized. Each story, each photograph, is a precious piece of history, where art, effort, and sacrifice come together to create unforgettable performances. Even though the stage lights have dimmed, their legacy continues to shine, reminding us that the extraordinary can exist within the most seemingly ordinary people. Join us as we continue exploring rare and inspiring stories from history. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a single memorable moment.